The Tennis Gambling Podcast on the Sports Gambling Podcast Network is brought to you by Fantasy. Sign up with the promo code SGPN. Get your bonus, a deposit bonus of $1,000. That's by the Edge Boost, or $70 per month on your sports gambling transactions. Good Edge Boost at bet, promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by Rhythm, the leader in data from picks and props. They're also giving away $24 future and throwing a March Madness party. Go to sportsgambling.com/party for details. And welcome, everybody, to the Tennis Game Podcast here on the Sports Game Podcast Network. It is currently Friday afternoon, roughly 3 p.m. Eastern Time on February 28th. I'm also always Scott Reichel, once again going solo for this pod. Time for the second episode of the day. We already broke down the Acapulco semis a couple hours ago. So if you want my thoughts on the matchups for Friday night, check out the episode for this one. For this episode, they're going to break down the final taking place on Saturday in Dubai between Felix and Tsitsipas. Can break down that match in a second. For that, though, do want to recap what happened for the Dubai semis and for the lock and dog picks. Starting off with the lock and dog picks, a reminder, we have other lock and dog picks on the Acapulco episode, which have not happened yet. So once again, if you want some extra picks, check out the episode for this one. But for the actual Dubai semis, a decent episode for the lock and dog. Ended up splitting. Hit the lock, though. We had Tsitsipas to win the first set in the match at minus 105. Thought Greek Sport would be a little bit, I'd say, out of gas after that marathon match against Medvedev, and he was, as he saw the trainer at the end of the first set, beginning second set, then eventually did lose in straight sets. Tsitsipas looked fantastic. Served well, did not get broken in the entire match, and you ended up seeing the backhand look really sharp throughout. Got a break, though, I'd say, towards the end of the first set. Ended up converting, and then ended up holding to win the set, and then ended up once again getting the job done there early in the second, getting a break, and then eventually did win in straight sets. Tsitsipas served very well, and it felt like he was in control for pretty much all of the match, but he ended up winning the match while facing a grand total of 0 breakpoints. So once again, Tsitsipas played great, and he got the job done for us for the lock by winning in straight sets. For the dog, though, went for a similar script, but didn't work out. We took Felix to win the first set and the match. We actually took Felix first set spread, minus 1.5 games, and Felix money line at plus 104. Closed at minus 120. Beat a line move, didn't really matter, as Felix did lose the first set outright. Then he eventually did come back and win in 3. Thought a 3-set war was a possibility, but at the end of the day, we thought that Felix would win. He did, but we tried to find a way to turn it to plus money. We went for the first set play. Didn't work out, as Hallis did win the first set 7-5, and then Felix came back and won. So once again, overall, a pretty fun day of tennis in Dubai. You had one competitive match and one that was somewhat straightforward, but either way, ended up splitting the lock and dog picks. And for the recap of the actual semis that we ended up seeing in Dubai, once again, I thought Tsitsipas and Felix looked like the best two players from the event for the last couple of rounds. Felix has been involved in a marathon every step of the way, as he has gone to a deciding set in every round, but it seems like he's been able to showcase the firepower when he needs to, and it seems like he's able to come through on some clutch points more often than I'd say we've been expecting him to over the last couple of months. We know that Felix has been, historically speaking, I'd say, an underachiever. Sounds a bit harsh, but I feel like it's accurate because he was viewed as being the future face of Canadian tennis, and people thought they might have a potential Grand Slam champion on their hands. And Felix has really not been close to that, and he's been underwhelming in Grand Slams over the last few years, but he has regained his form in 2025, and he's been able to win a couple titles already, and now he has a chance to win his 3rd title of the year, and we're only in February. So once again, a great opportunity for him to get the job done on the first day of March. And either way, Tsitsipas has been kind of in a similar boat. He has gotten further than Felix has in Grand Slams before, making the Grand Slam final a couple times, losing in the French Open and the Australian Open final to Djokovic both times. Point is, though, you're looking at a guy that has also not really played great tennis over the last year or so, but recently he's kind of found himself again. And Tsitsipas, when he's good, is really, really good. And he got the job done comfortably, but Felix had a marathon, which he showed a lot of mental toughness, but it feels a bit concerning, at least to me, that Felix, even though he's young, has been involved in so many 3-setters recently, while Tsitsipas had a couple of 3-setters as well, but luckily for him, he did have a much easier match against Greek Sport on Friday, as he did win in straight sets, and the match only took about an hour and 23. So I do think, once again, it was a pretty fun day of matches in Dubai. Felix one was just an absolute war, even though he took control of the 3rd set early on and coasted. And Tsitsipas controlled the match from the get-go, basically. Eventually got the break, and then did break again early. Greek Sport thought he might end up retiring, but he did not. He stuck it out to the end and just ran out of gas. But nice job by Tsitsipas and Felix to set up what should be a pretty fun final. Now, before we get into the actual preview of the final between Tsitsipas and Felix, do want to quickly look at the comment section. I see Manzi mentioning that he ended up enjoying the breakdowns. Thank you. Appreciate that. parlayed Felix with Tsitsipas, Desir, Pegula, and Badoza. So nice. Once again, hopefully get there. I know that Desir, I think, just won against Faria. Should actually mention that for the outrights that we already have, because I don't know if I actually went through that in Santiago. But either way, point is Desir did win, so we already have that as an outright. Now, I'd say, once again, a reminder, we do not have any outrights left in Dubai. We did not take Tsitsipas or Felix, but we did win Greek Sport to win the quarter at 9-1, which kind of paid for everything in Dubai. For the other events, though, in Santiago, we have Desir at 7-1. We have Baez at 850. We lost Jari, and we ended up losing Seaboth Wild, but we still have a 7-1 who already advanced into the semis today, and hopefully we get Baez, who also gets the job done and advances to the semis later on today. And for the event in Acapulco, we lost Paul and Rude from food poisoning, but we have Chapo at 10-1, and he is into the semis. So we still have a chance of winning 2 out of 3 outrights for the week. So hopefully we get there. And once again, hopefully we end up getting the lock and dog picks right for the Dubai final. Anyway, want to remind you once again that you can't just support the show, but like, subscribe on YouTube. Reminder, you also leave a rating and review on Spotify or Apple. So the podcast available on YouTube live stream format, actually simulcasting on Twitter. If you check out the SGPN, once again, Twitter account, it is simulcasting there. Plus, you can watch it video format afterwards on YouTube. So if you do either one of those things, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to help the show grow. Plus, a reminder, podcast is also available audio only on Spotify or Apple. I will edit the version of the live stream, and then I'll post it on Spotify or Apple. So if you do consume it that way, that's fine. But don't forget to leave a rating and a review to help the show grow as well on Spotify or Apple. Plus, a reminder, check out the merch store on the SGPN website. We have a lot of great Tennis Game Podcast merch with sweatshirts, t-shirts, and mugs, all high quality, all affordable, different colors as well for the shirts. And a reminder, we have a great deal with the actual merch store right now, because you can check out the discount for Merch Madness, promo code Madness at 20% off on the SGPN store at checkout. So once again, use the code Madness at checkout for 20% off anything in the merch store before the promo code is done. We're also brought to you by EdgeBoost, because EdgeBoost is a premier Visa debit card for bettors, and they allow you the ability to avoid being hassled at the sportsbook for having your card denied, either the sportsbook, the DFS site, sweepstakes site, racetrack, casino. You also earn cashback rewards, $750 per month in cashback rewards by using the EdgeBoost card. Reminder, your money's also safe, as money is safe because the card is FDIC insured, and the best part, there are no credit checks. It's completely free. Reminder, though, when you sign up for a new account, for the card, use the promo code SGPN to get better cash rewards into your status. Once again, EdgeBoost.bet promo code SGPN, EdgeBoost.bet promo code SGPN. We're also brought to you by MyBookie. MyBookie is the place to bet in every sport. They have props in every game, live to casino. They also accept a ton of customers from different locations, and they have easy deposit options and lightning fast payouts with crypto as well. So if you want to try crypto for, I'd say, once again, depositing in your account, definitely recommend doing that. Head to mybookie.ag, though, promo code SGPN for 100% deposit match up to 1K and a $10 casino chip. Mybookie.ag, promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tennis Game Podcast. Just finished recapping what happened in the semis in Dubai. Time to move on into the final between Felix and Tsitsipas. Now, for the actual final, first of all, shout out to the sportsbook for posting the lines early. I know that when semis happen, you have to usually wait maybe, I don't know, like 5 hours, 6 hours for lines. We got these lines in like 2 hours, so I appreciate it because we're able to make an episode early. Point is, though, you have a good matchup, which should be a fun one between two guys that, when they are on, are really, really good. Now, Tsitsipas is minus 135. On the money line, you're looking at Felix at around plus 115. For the spread, minus 1.5 for Tsitsipas, plus 1.5 for Felix. The over-under in games is around 23.5 or 24.5. For the set spread, you have Tsitsipas in straight sets at around plus 195. Felix to win in straight sets is plus 260. The over 2.5 sets is around plus 130. So for that head-to-head history, Tsitsipas has been very good in the head-to-head, as you're looking at him owning the last couple of meetings. In fact, Felix has been struggling against this opponent. He's lost 6 of the last 7 meetings. So Tsitsipas has been dominant in this previous matchup. Now, they've not faced off since 2023, so there has been some, I'd say, gap between this matchup and the last one. But when you've won 6 of the last 7, I think it makes sense you are a favorite in this match. Now, you're looking at the path for both players. You're looking at Tsitsipas having a good run, beating Sonego in straight sets, beat Kashanov and Berrettini in 3, and then ended up beating Greek Sport in straight sets. As for Felix, though, he's had a bunch of marathons. He's gone to a deciding set against Halys, against Cilic, against Borges, and against Bublik. Also had a marathon match in Doha in the semis there, lost to Rublev. So that's why I ended up skipping out on Felix for the outrights, even though I recognize how good he's been this year. Was concerned about the immediate turnaround after the marathon loss in Doha, and I did think that it might catch up to him. The fatigue, not the case, as he has been looking sharp as the matches have progressed here, but I have to wonder just how much tennis one guy can take, going to a deciding set in 5 straight matches and playing again for the, fourth straight day? 25, 26, 27, 28, 29. Just so he's going to be playing for the 5th straight day. Definitely a tough scheduling spot for Felix here, so we'll see how he holds up physically, but Tsitsipas has been great so far in the event, and he had a pretty easy opponent there in the semis, as Griekspoor was compromised after the marathon he had against Medvedev the day prior, so I think Tsitsipas should be favored in the spot. Now, do I think he's going to win the match? I think based on the eye test, I think Felix has played well, but I think Tsitsipas has looked better, in my opinion, at least over the last couple of rounds. Tsitsipas had a nice win there in 3 sets. A couple rounds ago against Berrettini. Berrettini was in good form. Did beat Monfils in straight sets. Thought he looked very good in the event. Had a matchup against O'Connell, which was a pretty good draw for him, to be honest. But either way, point is Berrettini was playing well, and Tsitsipas did beat him in 3. Griekspoor was straightforward, but I do like the fact Tsitsipas did not face a break point. He's been serving well, and I do think that his serve should be a serious problem for Felix to handle. Plus, the backhand seems to be on point again, and that has been an Achilles heel for Tsitsipas. The one-handed backhand is definitely fun to watch, but it can short circuit, especially for Tsitsipas more often than not. But yesterday, or I should say, yesterday and on Friday, it was sharp. So if you're looking at Tsitsipas having the backhand under control and having the serve performing well, I think he should be favored in this one. Felix, though, I think will make the match interesting. I'm not picking him to get blown out, but I do think it's going to be a close matchup that comes down to the wire. But based on the actual form, in my opinion, I think Tsitsipas looks better, and he has dominated the head-to-head lately. So I think that Tsitsipas, once again, is a pretty decent price. I saw 145 in BetMGM, but I found a couple 135s. So if you want to find that line, you can, and potentially get it before the line moves. For the actual total, though, I got to go with the over. I feel like it's tough to take an under, especially in Dubai with so many deciding sets. I feel you're looking at a spot where both guys should serve well. Both guys might have some moments. We had seen Tsitsipas punt a couple of second sets, as he did end up losing the second set to Berrettini and to Khachanov. Lost 6-1 to Berrettini, 6-2 to Khachanov. So he has been willing to punt some sets if he is falling behind early, or if he wants to conserve energy after winning the first set. But Felix has been kind of in a similar boat, but a little bit different because he has dropped the first set a couple times. But Tsitsipas, if you want to go for a potential angle for a niche market, Tsitsipas' first set on the money line is minus 125. He has won the first set in every match here. So he's 4-0 of the first set, and Felix is currently 2-2. If you factor in the Rublev match in Doha, he actually has lost the first set in 3 of the last 5. So then maybe that could be an angle if you want to go for a pretty, I'd say a bolder option, which I don't mind. It would be Tsitsipas' first set on the money line at minus 125 on that one. I see Johnny mentioning Cerundolo 2-0. We'll see what happens in that one. Should be a fun matchup, though, in Santiago. Definitely, in my opinion, the clay match of the day. I think it should be a fun one between Cerundolo and Echeverry. We'll see what happens. Besides that, checking the comments section here. Manzi mentioning that he ended the year with momentum. Definitely carrying over into this year as well. Manzi, if you want my thoughts on Makic, I mentioned in the last episode. I actually recorded an episode for Acapulco for the semis about 2 hours ago. So if you want my thoughts on the Makic match, I actually did break that down in the previous episode for the Acapulco semis. So once again, check out that episode in addition to this episode right now. Besides that, Johnny mentioning tits. Okay, sure. Let's see how Tsitsipas does in this one. Point is, he's looked good, and we'll see if Badoza's sitting courtside. But either way, point is, for the matchup itself, I'll go Tsitsipas, and I am going to go with the over. I don't mind the over 2.5 sets. I was hoping for a better price. I see plus 130. I'm hoping Caesars posts a plus 135, but I do think you're looking at a good number for another marathon that's expected. Felix has been the marathon man recently. I see that happening again, so I'll go with that as my thoughts for the total. Anyway, that's going to wrap it up for the actual preview of the final. Trying to think if there's anything else I want to add before we officially get into the lock and dog picks. Is there any news that I think is about? I don't think so. I'm trying to think if there is. Did anything happen here? Raducanu is getting security in Eden Wells after she had a stalker in the last event, but that's not really news. Sinner got removed from some sportsmanship nomination. Sure. Kokonakis, though, ended up hurting his pec. He's undergoing surgery, so he's going to be out indefinitely. He's been injured his entire career, which is unfortunate because he's got talent. But I'll mention it. Kokonakis, if you're looking for him in Wimbledon or French Open, he might not play. So we'll see what happens. Korniemi has been struggling with this for a while, so we'll see. Got hurt, apparently, or aggravated the issue in the 5-setter against Draper and chose to get surgery now, despite having that match about a month ago. which I find kind of weird. It took him a month and a half to get surgery, but either way, point is Kokkinakis ended up getting surgery on his pec. We'll see how long it takes for him to make the recovery. I don't know how bad the injury is, but he will be out indefinitely. Anyway, time to get into the lock and dog picks for the actual final. For that, though, I want to remind once again that we are brought to you by Rhythm, because Rhythm's having an epic March Madness party that I'll be at in Vegas, and you're all invited. All Rhythm users are invited to the first four watch party, once again on Wednesday, March 19th, at the Awesome Circus Swim Stadium Swim at Circle Las Vegas. Free drinks, plus you get to hang out with the guys from College Experience and the guys from Sports Gambling Podcast. And a reminder, gets better. Rhythm's also having a giveaway, $250 future bet for March Madness for one lucky Rhythm user. Even if you can't make the party, you can still be entered into the random drawing for the free future bet. Sign up for a 7-day free trial by using the link, sports.com/rhythm, sports.com/rhythm. Come by, use Rhythm to help you fill out your bracket as well. Make some bets along the way. Once again, a free party, plus a chance at $250 future bet. Go to sportsgambling.com/party for details, sportsgambling.com/party for details. We're also provided by Underdog Fantasy because they have a great Underdog Pick'em. And a reminder that you can use different sports for your entry: NBA, NHL, college basketball, tennis, etc. Use whatever sports you want to potentially cash in big. Underdog's also having a great promo for the NBA. They're offering a Luka Doncic discount for every Lakers game for the rest of the season. And a reminder for football diehards, the Combine is actually happening, and you could actually use 40-yard dash times for your entries. A reminder, though, when you sign up for your new account, use the promo code SGPN to go on special picking for $100 at all for point game bonus cash with fantasy promo code SGPN. Welcome back, everyone, to the Tennis Gambling Podcast. Just finished breaking down the final between Tsitsipas and Felix in Dubai for the final on Saturday. Now it's time for the lock and dog picks. For the lock, I'm going to go with Tsitsipas money line at -135. Think that he's been a little bit sharper, in my opinion. Felix has been playing great tennis this year, but I'm concerned about the stamina. He's had 5 straight 3-setters. He had, once again, a 3-setter in every match of this event, and he's playing for about the 5th day in a row. Fatigue could be an issue, and I feel like Tsitsipas has been a little bit sharper when it comes to his time management, beating 2 of the 4 guys in this event in straight sets, including Griekspoor, in about an hour and 20. So I like the overall, I'd say, rest advantage, or at least stamina advantage, because he's been on the court significantly less time than Felix has. But you're looking at Felix, who has been involved in a bunch of marathons. He's lost at least 1 set in 8 of the last 9 matches. The one exception was a Medvedev retirement after 1 set, so you can't exactly get multiple sets if one guy quits after 1. But Felix, if you're looking at matches that have completed at least 2 sets, he's lost at least 1 set in 8 straight. So based on that, I think Felix has been vulnerable. I think Tsitsipas has been in good form. He's also owned the head-to-head. He's 6-1 in the last 7 meetings. So I like the fact that Tsitsipas is getting a, once again, pretty decent price for a guy that's owned the head-to-head and a guy that I think has looked a little bit sharper than Felix over the course of the event. Give me Tsitsipas on the money line at -135 as the lock. For the dog, though, I am going to go with the over 2.5 sets at +130. Kind of have to. You're looking at Felix dropping, once again, a set in 8 of his last 9, if you want to include the Medvedev match. But each of the last 8 matches that have gone to at least 2 full sets for Felix have not ended in straight sets. So based on the, I'd say, common theme here of Felix dropping sets, I see that happening again in this one. Tsitsipas, though, has been involved in a bunch of marathon matches as well. He has dropped at least 1 set in 5 of his last 7. So both guys dropped sets. Both guys have been serving well, and we have seen a lot of 3-setters in this event in Dubai. I see nerves playing a factor for both guys. I think you're looking at what should be a fun matchup, but I do think there is some value on projecting another marathon here for the price at +130. So I'll go with that as my dog for this one. So once again, the plays here for the lock and dog in Dubai. We're going to go with the lock being Tsitsipas money line at -135. The dog will be on Felix and Tsitsipas over 2.5 sets at +130. Looking at the comment section before I officially wrap it up, looking at the comments here, Tsitsipas could win in straights. It's possible. But I'm going to give Felix the benefit of the doubt. I think Tsitsipas, if he ends up falling behind in the second set, might punt one, and I do think that could be a possibility. I see Zur mentioned he thinks Tsitsipas is better. I think based on form in the event, I agree. So that's why I'm going to go with him on this one. But once again, we're back for the actual final in Acapulco at some point tomorrow, breaking down that matchup. So once again, check out the podcast for the final breakdown there on Acapulco. A reminder, we did the episode for the Acapulco semis a couple hours ago. So if you do want to get a bonus lock and dog, check out the episode for this one as those matches take place tonight. Till next time, though, good luck to all of you and all of your bets. Bye, everyone.